put the fluffer on it so that I can be like fluffing into that. What you want to talk about here is all this stuff on the table that we always do every day. Every day that you're not here, we get rid of all of this stuff and it goes into bikes on the lift and you never get any coverage. You never get the footage that you want, Chad, because you're never here. Project FXDR. I don't think we've got 10 minutes into the project. The bike is completely torn down. We're going into final assembly. This big fat tire, and we're going to make huge power with it. With those pistons. And this turbo. Actually, you know what we decided to do? We've decided that we're going to take our base motor, and with the support of the team, we're going to put a regular exhaust system on it. We're going to dyno tune it in with our ported heads at this compression ratio on 1 bar, no boost, no turbo. Let's see what this 128 will make. We'll get some really, really good data on it, and then we'll turn on the turbo and see what sort of power benefits the turbo is going to be to this base engine. Look around here, relatively stock, 2020, 114 that we're converting to a 128. We've vented the transmission case. We've gone in and done some trick stuff with our clutch. We're still running a belt drive, just for everyone. This is where we're going to start. Let's see how much power a belt can make. All you guys say that the belt's no good for 100 horsepower. Let's put 200 through it and see if we can make the belt survive. We're going to keep the clip-on risers. We're going to get some drag pegs done. We're going to move to mid controls. We're going to redo the front suspension. We've already redid the rear suspension, but today we're just going to get it back together running. Yeah, Monkey needs his banana. Another thing we're going to dispel here in this building is we've got a first generation CNC cylinder head from Harley Davidson. This was their stage 4 cylinder head for their 117 kit. If you look everywhere on the internet, the whole world will tell you this cylinder head does not perform very well, and this cylinder head does not do what it needs to do. We have to oversize valves and we have to make sure things make sense. We decided to put them on the flow bench. We've picked up 35 CFM just with a little bit of Dave work. We've put some proper valve springs in them. We've got 313 CFM at 600 lift on these heads, and we're going to roll the dice with them. Nice port matched intake manifold that I did here. Ground the shit out of it. We've got 120 pound fuel injectors in this bike. We're never going to run out of fuel system on this bike because we have 10.8 gram per second fuel injectors. We may outrun the fuel line, but I've yet to determine that because I've made 300 horsepower on a stock fuel line, and to be honest with you, we're not trying to ride it around the world. We're just going to be running it down the racetrack. 2.5 bar map sensor, E85 compliant fuel injectors. Dave does everything methodically on his flow bench at his port station, and I did mine over a garbage can while Chad was filming. But of course I didn't really do anything more than just clean up a few casting marks and make it work a lot better. Fresh gasket set, multi-layered steel gaskets of course, proper surface finish, make sure everything's happy.
Dramatic.
We don't really want to expose, but combinations like this, we always like to use the Johnson high lift short travel race lifter. Better control at the push rod.
It's a fueling box.
Well, fueling likes to rebox lifters. This is a Johnson lifter. You can tell mainly by its construction, its nitrided body. Always runs a steel circlip in the top, so if the spring gets fatigued or the push rod strikes the clip, this thing's not going to come apart. Very nice upgraded trunnion in it, very tight tolerance, very clean. faster revving, really good little lifter. We've been using them a lot lately, and for our premium high performance builds, that's the lifter of choice.
You're getting serious.
Well, we've got one stool left that doesn't wobble. Thanks, Daniel. Let's spend a minute and dispel some beliefs of what people think they want to talk about on the internet right now. The funny thing is we'll just mainly start with a couple of different finishes. So, dispelling a few myths here. What we find in the industry is everyone wants to go through and they want to talk about cylinder head porting, and everyone wants to oversize the valves, and everyone has the idea that bigger is better. Understanding that the cylinder heads, obviously we're comparing a twin cam to a Milwaukee 8 here, so let's negate that, but the cylinder head on the right is a CNC finished port. A lot of people like the tool path. They like to think that that tool path makes it look cleaner and it will flow more air. Now, the tool path necessarily isn't the problem. The problem is the machine can still only reach a certain point of the cylinder head. So anyone who's actually into cylinder head development, like our in-house Dave, will always agree that the machine will cut it from every angle that it can, but we always go back to the flow bench. Flow data is everything. We want to make sure that we can see a gain. And the gain can be in the way that this port is blended. The gain can be in the valve job or the facing of the valve. The gain can be in the diameter of the port, the way that it travels in the floor of the cylinder, short turn radius, so many different terminologies that the end user doesn't always understand. But one thing we need to get straight is a smooth, shiny finish versus a CNC milled finish versus a sanded roll finish. We're doing this so that the fuel can hit the wall and have traction. The smoother we make this port, it looks prettier, but it'll actually cause the fuel to puddle. You could have tuning issues if your port is too smooth. The transition and entry of the port, we want to make sure that it maintains speed. That's why we utilize a Superflow flow bench. That's why we utilize 35 years in cylinder head development. We take what we know from the racetrack and we apply it to each and every one of your bikes. Now, a hand-ported cylinder head is more of an artisan piece because we can really tailor this cylinder head to flow data based off the camshaft that we've selected for your bike. We don't necessarily want to put an oversized valve, large cylinder head on a touring bike when we're using a small camshaft, because the levels of lift based off of airflow can really cause issues. So if you zoom in on the paperwork here, we're measuring this cylinder head from 100 to 500 lift, 550 on the exhaust. We're looking at this flow data based off of the cam profile that we've picked. We don't need flow data at 700 lift if we're only using a 485 cam. We need to focus on our short, we need to focus on our low level lift, and we need to focus on a lot of mid-range power if we're using a touring cam. If we're going to go high compression, we're going to go to forced induction, we're going to go to race fuel, then we can start looking at increasing airflow as RPM increases. Even our turbo project here, we're probably not going to run more than 6,000 RPM, because what we're going to lose in RPM we can make in boost. The exhaust port design, because we're running an exhaust manifold that is a log design where the turbo feeds off two cylinders, is going to be a different port volume and a different velocity and design based off of what we would do with a 2-into-1 cylinder or a 2-into-1 pipe, something that is more dedicated to high RPM. But don't let the myth dispel you that a cylinder head that's hand ported with this finish, it doesn't look as pretty as a CNC cylinder head, but there's a lot more time and a lot more development in this port. This is a more tailored port, and we can have a better result from a hand-ported cylinder head than we can from our CNC cylinder head. CNC would assist us if we were going into heavy production. So CNC does look a lot nicer. It's a more professional finish. If we can start with a brand new casting like this, end product is going to be a lot prettier. Race development, increased horsepower, affordability. I think right now we're going to focus a little bit more on the hand-ported stuff, support it with the correct documents, and make sure that we continue on learning from each and every level of cylinder head that we create. The next round will be an oversized valve. We may go to a different coil spring. We may go to a different locator. We may go to a different guide. We don't know, but in the meantime, we're getting 30, 35 CFM gains off of these factory 88 cylinder heads. We're getting 35 to 50 CFM gains off of this Milwaukee 8 cylinder head. And in a lot of cases, if we increase valve side and stuff, we can increase some of this stuff by almost 100 CFM. With the proper compression and the proper camshaft, you're going to end up with a very, very high horsepower outcome, well into the 180s on a Milwaukee 8. We're going to keep you posted as well. We're working on the new center cooled cylinder heads. We're going to have some supporting flow data on those in the near future. Center cooled is the new design by Harley Davidson, and right now we're dealing with an intake port that is perfectly round. When we go into the new Gen 2 Milwaukee 8, it's a peanut or an oval port and flows a lot more air, but is a completely different design. It's now an equal length runner on the throttle body. If you look at this manifold here, this is not equal length. We have a longer plenum and we have a much more indirect runner because of how this throttle body sits on the bike between the cylinder heads. With the new center cooled, very, very short entry, very, very even runner length and a lot more balance, especially with the new oval port. But we'll touch more on that with our 135 build. Unfortunately, we've done many, many new center cooled bikes through here. We just have not been keeping a lot of documented data as they go back to the customers pretty quick. We've already achieved north of 170 horsepower with factory 135 stuff. The 117 stuff, we just achieved 150 horsepower just with a cam change and exhaust and cylinder work. So stay tuned. And just remember, if your cylinder heads don't come with supporting flow data, then how do we know what cam to select? How do we know where it's going to work for the combination that we're building for you? So always good. The more you know, the better the build's going to go.
Did you some talking or just fiddling?
No, I was just sticking my fingers in the manifold that are going to slow down the air on the heads. Dave puts extra work into making the heads flow, and then I put the intake manifold in to slow it down. I kind of like it. I think it looks pretty good.
What are you doing?
I want to see.
Well,
I want to see.
might help if you put it on the right way.
I'm trying.
What are you doing? This side goes over there.
I'm trying to get it unstuck.
Are you working on Harleys or?
It's the orange. It's killing me.
Yeah.
Killing me.
Sure.
Killing me. Hey, we're not all fucking masters like you, bud. This is the only bike that David actually likes.
That is not true.
He's like, I love this bike. It's so awesome.
Yeah. You gonna run it down the truck?
Everyone's gonna run it.
Yeah, right.
Go-karts. God, I'm such a retard. So retarded.
First day Brian's working on a motorcycle.
Ever since I decided,
Just take the gasket out of there.
ever since I decided to mock this thing up, it's been mocking me.
Yeah.
Completely abort. Disregard this bullshit.
Can you take that off now?
Yes. Just wanted to see what it would look like.
You're
Completely the wrong color.
What do you mean? It looks good. Sends a signal to the ECU to pull timing out. Oh, okay. So you don't.
It's not telling you if your motor's not.
No, it's telling the ECU if it is,
Oh, okay.
and pulls timing out so it doesn't hurt it. So rather important. Well, if you're lighting the mixture off too early, it'll cause the piston to rattle in the bore. That's what this is sensing, that rattling of the piston.
Oh, okay.
And it's pounding on it. It's very hard on the bearings, hard on the ring lands. Like those rings we were looking at, I bet you that was caused by detonation. Somebody was
Bad timing.
yeah, bad tune, abuse.
Just
So
like a shitty stepdad.
something like that, yeah.
It sounds absolutely bananas.
Yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
My ears kind of hurt.
Yeah, well, that's that idle.
This pipe might be like good. Might be all we need.
It might be good.
Yeah, but we've already fabricated the turbo that YouTube's not going to see, and we're going to have all kinds of other options to turn it up. We still have nitrous if we want to put nitrous on it. We have to know
Rocket
how
fuel.
much power the stock belt will even take.
It'll take it.
Oh yeah, well I've made 160 and it drives around, so let's go for 250. I don't know, as long as it's straight and it's adjusted correctly, I think it's strong as fuck. Ugh. We've got factory lifter cuffs, we've got plastic lifter cuffs in it. We've got the plastic lifter cuffs in it, we've got the factory belt, we've got the factory clutch. Yeah, we're gonna fucking show the world. Might all just fucking shred at one hit. Huh? 2019 FXDR, very rare bike. We don't see many of them. We decided to build it in the shop. We did it our way. This will be our test mule for our cylinder head development. This will be our test mule for transmission components. It makes sense to go racing with the lightest bike possible. This guy here is, I think, 640 pounds. We've put together a 128-inch motor. We have a really nice specialized camshaft that we've picked for the process. We're going to dyno this bike in on the exhaust and the air filter on pump gas. We're going to maximize the tune on 1 bar and see where we're actually going to go. If we can make 140 horsepower or 150 horsepower, then we're going to move it over to E85. Once we clear the E85, we'll be adding the turbocharger, and it's going to be kind of our stage 4. First stage, sorted out, naturally aspirated. Second stage, change fuel. Third stage, add boost, tune it on pump. Fourth stage, tune it on boost and fuel. And like and subscribe, stay tuned, keep posted, and follow us.